Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Thursday, April 4th, Sean Higgs coming at you. And as always, Chip Chirimbes, Doug Upstone joining me here. We'll be talking some Final Four action, maybe some Crown, the NIT. We got some college basketball here for you on a Thursday. We'll jump back into the NBA as the playoffs begin here because, I don't know. You look at a schedule and you got 9 games going and 8 of them are all by double digits or more. That's kind of a you don't need to be going any you don't want any rants from me here, but we'll talk about some college basketball in 1 second. To avoid my rants, hit the like button, notification bell, subscribe, so you know each and every day we come at you. Monday through Thursday, free picks. Doug, Chip, me, Matt, Brian coming at you. Friday live, Mark Lawrence will be in the house. Matt Fargo's will be making an appearance. These gentlemen have been known to show up on a live show every once in a while. You never know who's going to show up on a Friday live. We'll be talking, again, probably baseball stuff, and we'll see where the winds take us on the Friday live. But again, free pick shows are free pick shows. We do our best to win all these games. If you want our best bets, our premium plays, our top plays, well, gamblersworld.net is where you go for all of those picks and predictions, folks. 3 738 packages, all guaranteed. We show you a profit over those day time frame, or we credit you back, whatever you got. You want day pass, you want to kind of jump in, see how somebody's doing. You look at a day like, wow, this guy's got 4 packages up today in hockey, baseball, basketball, blah, blah, blah. $69.99. Can't really beat that for a day pass. Go get it. You want individual packages? You want some hockey? You want some NBA, baseball? Individual packages are all right there. There you go. The top selling package is a 1-day pass. Why wouldn't you? It gets all the sports, every game the Kappa releases for one low price. That's the way I do it. If I'm looking for just jumping in for a day, that's all I can say about that. We can all draw the horse to water. You can't make him drink. You see the leaderboard. We're all doing pretty well in respected sports. Doug Upstone, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. It's just it's actually a cool day here in the desert and Chip would, I think, back me up on that right now where he's at. So a little bit different here, but the 90s will be back before you know it. So that's good. That's good to hear. But one thing that has been hot is continue to do well. The last 33 days, 76 and 46, okay, across all sports. That has been very good. The NHL continues to be my best sport. 91 and 47 going back to late October. And in basketball, college basketball in particular, 52 and 31 the last let's see here, 40 days, exactly 40 days. So we got that. So looking forward to the tournament and then the action that's actually coming up tonight. Looking forward to actually talking about the NIT a little bit because I actually have my NIT game of the year going tonight on the site here. So that's good. And then the NBA, it was doing really well. Then I've lost a couple, but now got another winner. So things are looking good there. So yeah, it's going well. I guess that's the only way I can put it. I'm happy about it. And so is all the customers at Gamblers World too.
I see it coming across. You're cashing 60% over the last 30 plus days. That is definitely excellent. And again, it's not just one sport. You're hitting them all, which is even I think tougher to do because me, I kind of focus once I'm doing well. I'm like, you know what? I'm not bothering anything else. I'm going to get my tunnel vision and go off, and here I go. Hit them all, double the props, and respect to that because it is difficult, folks, to win across the board in multiple sports at the same time. At least I feel it is. But
it is.
It is. I mean, let's be honest.
Believe me, I know exactly.
Sometimes you're just rolling along. It's like, look at this. Everything I'm touching is turning to gold. You're like King Midas out there, and you're on one of those runs. Embrace it. Get his plays, folks. Big game of the year at gamblersworld.net from Chip today. From Doug today. But I'm sure Chip's. I don't know if he's going to be jumping into some NBA as they wrap up the regular season here. I was just looking at this Toronto-Portland game. 14 guys on the maybe not playlist today due to rest. I don't know. How you doing, Mr. NBA guy, Chip Chirimbes?
Well, the NBA has slowed down a little bit. We've curtailed, but if it wasn't for Thursdays in the NCAA, we'd be absolutely outrageous. We've now won our last 4 megabucks, which are our single strongest play of the day on the board. But Thursdays, we have to get by that, and thankfully this week there are no NCAA tournament games on Thursday. Although I do have a megabuck best bet tonight in college basketball action, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Final four, guys, we come down to the top 4 seeds, and we were the guys that said all year long that there were 4 teams that were head and shoulders above everyone else. And boy, were we right. All 4 number 1 seeds made it to the finals. So it's going to be interesting this weekend to see how it plays out.
We did say that way back when they looked like the clear-cut faves. I couldn't pull the trigger on the old, let's get all 4 number 1s into a parlay to get to the Final Four. But, hindsight being 2020, I don't mind being right. That's fine. I didn't do that. I'm not going to parlay guy anyway. But the fact that it is what it is, that reflects on, I think, all of us having good college basketball years, and just the I don't know if it's talent. It's just whatever it is. These 4 teams are just really good, and we're going to talk about them in a second.
Right.
We're going to start some smaller action here. We'll go with the Crown first. A lot of controversy in the Crown. Because it's a lot of that bureaucratic red tape kind of nonsense that affected these guys early on, and their the social media engaged with them. But you got to say it's been a fun little tournament. I don't know if they're playing on like lower rims, whatever the case may be out there at the MGM. Chip, the scoring is just out of control with all these teams. High scoring, fun games. They had a blowout, but a lot of them pretty decent games. Like they're, guys are playing or scoring, which I think people want to see. Better than seeing like a 55-61 game when it's 88 to 60 or something. Like there's threes. I'm sad there's not a lot of people there, but I guess you're having games at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It is what it is, but fun tournament. First game of the night, Cincinnati and UCF. Semi-big line here with the Bearcats being 6.5 point favorite here, total 155 over Central Florida. Again, might be missing some guys, whatever. Me personally, I look at this line, I see it, I'm like, this reminds me of the kind of high Boise line, and I'm drawing a blank who's the other game was, but it was like a 7-8 point line. Who was that? Nebraska, the other night. Like kind of these higher lines are like, okay, you kind of want to take a dog thinking we get paid if we move on, let's try to win, but it has not been the case. There have been some bigger blowouts in some of these games and favorites covering, but I like Cincinnati here, Chip. What do you think?
I think that I haven't been using that game, but on the show that is, but I do have that game as a megabuck play tonight. So we're going to look for our 5th straight megabuck winner in the game between Central Florida and Cincinnati.
There you go. On to Doug. You look at it. See, you already got a game of the year in the NIT from Doug. Chip's got you covered here in early Crown. What do you got for us here on this one? Anything?
Well, I'm going to give you 2 crowns for one. I actually like both favorites. Okay, in this game, I think that they have shown that they're above and beyond. Okay, the competition they're facing. I think Central Florida. They're missing their leading scorer. I just think that they were lucky to cover against a really depleted Oregon State team before. So they don't do anything for me. And I just think that Villanova expertly made the transition in coaches. They decided to go a different direction. I think they got the right guy. And I think that transition's been just really easy. They got a veteran team, so I think they take care of business too tonight.
I'm going to tell you, I like the over in this game here with Villanova. A lot of offense from both of these teams last game. Villanova's just playing, seniors on the way out, the coaching change. They seem like you said, for whatever reason, they're motivated, excited, or playing better ball. I don't know. I like the over. And and the money talks, right? Yeah. And the total, 151 up to 153 now. I like the over here. How about you? I know, Chip, you got the big play going in the Cincy UCF game, but any opinion on the second Crown game, the nightcap, Nova?
It looks like Villanova's the class of this tournament so far. Coming out of the Big East, and I didn't expect too much out of them considering the kind of year they had. But, playing that tough competition day in and day out really helps when you get into postseason and even, early on, we see all these teams early in the season go 8-1 until they get into conference play, and then they end up with a 500 record on the year. So these big conferences with the strong teams seem to play a lot better when they're playing teams that are outside their conference.
Well, we see in the other part of the semis going on Saturday, we're going to have Boise and Nebraska going at each other. So that'd be a fun little game there. Again, I thought Boise was the team to beat here. I thought they'd be the most inclined and motivated bunch, but Nova's definitely making a case that they want this thing. But we'll move on. We'll move on. And did you get to the Crown games yesterday? You said you're going to go and try to pick up some cheerleaders the other day.
No, I didn't say that. No.
Actually, I said that on the show. You weren't there. I was at Brian. We were talking about the Crown with Biller and Fargo. I said, I think Chip's going to pick up some cheerleaders. He wants to go hang out.
Yeah, well, they look right through me nowadays. But no, I didn't make it down there, to tell you the truth. I hope to be able to make it today.
On a side note, a couple guys, I don't know if Wes, Sniper Wes? Anyway, him
I do, yes.
Yep. So he's in Vegas now. He moved out to Vegas. So he's a full-time Vegas cat. He's going on to the game along with our friend Joe D. Said he's going to be there. So that's always a fun atmosphere.
Well, gee, he had to have a section all to himself then. Just everybody there will just be seeking his autograph, I'm sure. He's Mr. Vegas, so there we go.
They're gonna meet up. I was like, oh man, maybe if Chipper goes, it'll be a round robin of campers.
It'll be a real battle.
We got Chattanooga and Cal Irvine in the NIT. And again, listen, I like the NIT. And I like the more when it was at MSG when you'd have your Chattanooga and Irvines knocking off like Penn State or Boise, or not Boise, Butler or some, Pac-12 school or something, and you have an underdog kind of thing in here. But not the case, because all those big Power 5 schools are playing in the Crown. We got two little middies playing today. I think it's going to be a good little game. I mean, Irvine, 32 wins on the year. I thought North Texas would give them a little run there. Chattanooga, underdogs in every game. They keep winning. Does the clock strike 12 for Cinderella, Doug? What do we
on this one, well, if you remember, I said before that I thought Irvine, even when they lost in the Big West Championship, I still thought they deserved to be in the NCAA tournament, and I knew the reasons why they wouldn't be. But you know what? After watching them get to the championship game of this, and then you look at first round losers: Oklahoma, Georgia, North Carolina, and Mississippi State. What worse could UC Irvine do? Okay. I mean, so I think this is it's a nice team. Okay, they got a good big guy. Their guards are a little bit weak, but they play really good defense. And then the other thing, Chattanooga, for people that don't watch much college basketball that do this for a living, my hat's off to you, because I just like the visual aspect of watching certain teams, and I have been on Chattanooga now for a while. And I mean, I watch how these guys play. I love their offense. They take a ton of threes, but they have good shooters. They really move the ball just extraordinarily well. And I also like the fact that their guards are very alert. And I've mentioned this with a couple of teams, but they run weak side stuff on screens, and then they get layups, on weak side passes. So, I mean, they're just a fun offensive team to watch. So I really like both teams here. I do have a pick on the side, but on the total, all three of my power ratings have this game going over. And so that's where and by at least 3 points, by the way, I'm going with the over on the total in the NIT championship. But all
right, we got an official over NIT over 145.5 from Doug. Chip, anything?
Well, I can understand that. And Doug, I feel sorry for New York. Poor NIT. You're going to end up with either an anteater or a moccasin. And I haven't walked a mile in his Chattanooga's shoes yet. They've won 16 of the last 17, Chattanooga has, and they've only lost one game and went overtime against Furman.
Yep.
And yet they're a strong underdog to Cal Irvine, who, like you said, has been playing really well. And by the way, I did have Cal Irvine over North Texas, and the Mean Green have been so good to me in big games all year, and I just happened to reverse it last time out, and that was my fourth straight megabuck win. Cal Irvine's won 10 of the last 11. But, Doug, did you say you'd like this game to go over the total?
That is correct.
Well, I say there's pretty good reason too, Doug, because Chattanooga's shooting 77% from the free throw line. Irvine, the Anteaters are shooting 80% from the free throw line. They're top free throw shooting teams in the country, which when it gets down to crunch time, if they're making them, you got a better chance of the game going over the total. This is a tough one for me because I feel bad for Anteaters and Moccasins. But they're going to be a New York title holder with the NIT, which is somewhere in Indianapolis, I think, this year. And but I don't know. I'd take the underdog if I had to play, and I have no selection on the game whatsoever.
We got an official play, though, on the over here in the NIT.
Right.
145.5. And again, top play from Doug is up on Gamblers Road right now in this game. And Chip has a top play in Crown Action here on Thursday as well. You don't want to miss out on that. GamblersRoll.net for our top plays. Let's wrap it up here. We're going to hit the final four. Before we get to that, hit the like button. Notification bell's on so you know each and every day we come at you with free pick videos and our live shows. And there's that. GamblersRoll.net for all the premium plays. That's where our best plays are. Florida and Auburn kicking things off here. 6 o'clock, your early game here. Florida, a 2.5-point fave over the overall number 1 seed, Auburn Tigers, who they already beat by 9 in Auburn this year. I'm going to tell you, I think this is going to be I'll tell you what I have. I got it on the site. You don't want to buy it? I don't care. Don't buy it. I've been winning, giving you winners all freaking year long. I took the under first half, 78.5 in this one. And I took the Gators for the game because I think the Gators are just the better team right now. I didn't like the way Auburn was playing coming in. I thought Creighton would knock them off. I'm not a believer in them. I'm going Florida under first half. Doug, what do you think?
Yeah, the Florida victory that's what really kind of sold me. And like you, I ended up with a ticket for them to win the national championship. Here's my concern though with Florida right now. I don't like how they played against both Connecticut and Texas Tech. They completely lacked any urgency. They just played just real. Here's a word that's not often used: milquetoast. Okay, they just not a lot of effort. Now they put the effort in at the end. Okay, and Walter Clayton's Jr. is, as I've said, this dude's an assassin. Okay, at the end of games, but that's a concern to me. And at least visually, to me, Auburn looks to kind of have righted their ship a little bit here. And here's an interesting note on this game. When you get to the Final Four and 2 teams are playing from the same conference and the favorite is less than 7 points, they are 2-4 straight up and 1-5 against the spread. So that chases me in the thinking, at least, of off of Florida. But I do like a higher scoring game here. The last one, fit the bill. I think we're going to have another one here. Florida 18-5 over on neutral floors, and 14-1 over off a game in which they did not cover the spread but won as a favorite. So I'm going to go over the total on the first Final Four contest.
There you go. Over. Why not? The way these guys have been scoring over there from Doug. Chip.
A great matchup, without a doubt. The thing is, Florida's already beaten Auburn at Auburn. They beat them by 9, and guess what? They were an 11-point dog in that game, and now they're 2.5-point favorite. It's virtually a 13.5-point turnaround as far as the numbers concerned. Now, Doug, you're saying you like it over, and I can understand. Both teams are 21-16 on the year going over. Auburn lost 3 of 4 coming into the tournament. Of course, they've righted themselves out, won 4 in a row. The number 1 seed is an underdog here. That might be a little bit telling. But, Doug, I like the over here, but I have a problem. I have an issue in that the last 10 meetings between these two, only 2 of the games have gone over. Mm-hmm. And Florida's won 13 straight, and they've won 19 out of 20. It's pretty tough to buck that team. But like I said, Auburn being the number 1 seed and Florida being probably the 4th among our second or third, but they're not number 1. We know that. Duke was number 2. So I think the game goes over as well. I really do. I think that there's 2 high-powered offenses, and they're going at it this week. I play the Auburn-Florida game over.
Over. Let's make it a trifecta. We'll put in an official free play at the end of the show here. Over Gators and Tigers here in Auburn. Final matchup here. A goodie, Duke a 5.5 point now
Yeah.
favored over Houston, 136. I'm not even at this point. I'm taking Houston. There is just zero respect for Houston, who is a veteran team, been there, kind of done that kind of team. We got a revenge? Last year was 54-51. Come on, this Houston team's better. And who is Duke? Duke beat Auburn. That's it. I'm taking Houston. Probably take them on my money line. That's Doug. What? Agree?
I can't agree because I have that game. Okay, so
right.
It's not up yet. It's going to be up. I'll have it up soon. But no, the thing that struck me about that 54-51 game last year in the the Elite Eight, I believe it was, the Houston, both teams shot under 40%, under 41%. The 3-point shooting 8 for 25 combined, and Houston lost by 3. And they were 9 for 17 from the free throw line. Okay. We all forget that stuff as time goes by. So much for the charity stripe in their instance. The total on that game closed at 133.5. And of course it was never sniffed. The total right now in this game is actually sinking. It opened at 136.5 and we're starting to see a lot of 135.5. Here's the thing. Because they had a whole week, of practice, to game plan against each team, and the fact that last year's game was such a defensive grinder, I think the coaching staffs come into this one looking to find ways to break down the defenses, and come up with ways to score instead. So I'm going to say there's going to be a concerted effort from both teams to try and get the ball into the paint. I'm not saying they're not going to kick it out, but to get the ball into the paint and try and score around the basket. I think that's going to lead to more fouls. And as what Chip just talked about from one of the previous games we talked about, I think the whistles will be blowing. And I think because of that, this game is going to go over the 136.5.
Over from Doug in the Duke Houston game. Chip, what do you got?
Sean, you opened this by saying Houston's been there and done that. Well, they've been there, but they haven't done that. They keep getting beat in these games.
They've been here through the motions. It's a veteran team.
It is a veteran team. It's a good team. And if you might remember earlier in the year, I thought that they had a real good chance at winning it all. But I have to disagree with Doug in a way, Doug. Both these teams are defensive oriented.
Houston, I agree.
Houston, right? Houston, number 1 in the country, is only giving up 58 points a game, 0.3. And Duke is 7th. They're not that far off. And so I see these teams grinding it out and really working for a good shot and great defense on both sides. And I would imagine the shooting percentages are going to be a little bit down for both clubs. And excellent free throw shooters, like you said, but still, I mean, Houston is number 2 in the nation on 3-point percentage, 39.7. But can they get those shots off? Because Duke's perimeter defense is one of the best in the country at preventing opposition and making 3-pointers, just about 30% on that. And they're shooting 36 or 38.6% from 3-point range. So it's sort of a dichotomy. You got one side that they're both shooting great 3-pointers, and then both of them are stopping opposition from making 3-pointers. So I think this game would go under because it's a big game and defense travels well. And both teams play great defense, and I think they'll be more concerned with that than anything else. So I'll play it under.
We got a under from Doug. I'm going to make it the official show pick of the free pick. It's going to be my Houston Cougars +5. That'd be my pick. All right. We've covered the crown, the knit, the Final Four. Free picks. Over 159.5 in the Florida game. Over 145.5 in the NIT. Houston +5 in the Final Four. These are free picks, folks. Head to gamblersworld.net. Get Chip Chirimbes' Crown Best Play for Thursday night. Get Doug Upstone's Final Four, right? No, NIT Game of the Year tonight. Game of the Year, and he has Final Four up again, as Chip does as well for Final Four Saturday. That's where you find all of our top plays at gamblersworld.net. 3 7:30 packages guaranteed. Bama over. Houston, Irvine over. You got free picks, premium stuff at gamblersworld.net. And I think that is a wrap for basically college basketball. Major League Baseball taking center stage. We'll be talking baseball. We love it. Torpedo bats, who cares? Doesn't make a difference if you can't hit. A lot of guys did steroids. They still didn't hit like the other guys did. I don't care about it. We'll talk more about those next week. But, gentlemen, good luck this weekend in hoops and hockey and baseball, and I'll see you all on Monday. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hit that like on the way out and let us know in the comments who you have in these games this weekend. Take it easy now. Bye-bye.